Welcome to Degrees of Separation, a podcast where we journey to learn how we are connected and who we are connected to.
It gives us at least a glimpse of how connected we all are.
From entrepreneurs and small business owners to difference makers and thought leaders throughout our communities. This is Degrees of Separation with Joshua Peacock and Daryl DJ Sales.
Hey man, what it is, what it do? We back off in this thing. One more time, man. It's your host, Elder Joshua Peacock.
And your boy Daryl DJ Sales.
Yes, sir. Man, it's been a little minute, you know what I'm saying? Things get hectic, things get busy. You know what I'm saying? We too busy, man. But hey, we dedicated to bring quality content and quality conversation to the world and to the masses, man. But we have
Amen.
Coming to you today, man. It's real serious, man, and real something that we should be taking heed to and observing, and just the Bible tells us to be ready. You know what I mean? Is to take heed to a lot of things. They don't tell us to just be walking with our head up in the sky. You know what I'm saying? Just not paying attention to where we're going. So, you know what I mean? It all falls down. Now, what's the greatest society, nation that has ever lived?
Bro, the greatest nation?
Or the greatest society, or greatest, I don't want to say the nation, but,
Man, bro, I feel like, you mean like it's in physical man? Like art?
Yeah, what's the blueprint of the world?
Oh, everybody gonna say Egypt.
Really? Nah, everybody. People in our circle might say Egypt.
Or the Sumerians.
Romans. Rome wasn't built in a day. Everybody points to Rome.
Batiman.
Of course.
Full of Batiman.
But everybody points to Rome. Right or wrong?
You right though. They do. And I'm gonna be honest, part of that for me is, if I agree with one thing, I agree with Greek. Now, and I know a lot of people, they might crucify me for this, but I agree with Greek school of thought. Like, I think that I just agree with it to this point. I think that education should be readily available to everybody, and not just like in Egypt. They had the mystery schools, and when it came to Jews, they had rabbis, and it's that's the bad type of gatekeeping. Like, I don't agree with that type of gatekeeping. So, but yeah.
So, you posed a very good thought there. When you pointed to Egypt and the Sumerians, and they have been great, powerful, influential empires throughout the history of this world, and they all have had. And so, first off, let's deal with what does it take to make a great society or a great empire? You have to have resources.
Yeah.
You have to have food.
You got to have a system of courts, through which you judge, like a moral code.
Yeah, moral code, and you have to have influence, a military.
Militia. Right.
What else? I guess the water and food, they go hand in hand.
Yeah, they resources.
Yeah. What else would there be? There's an educational system.
Yeah.
Educational system, and these things have to be vibrant, all working together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To have a dynamic or a world power. You know,
Yeah.
we have, as you said, the the Egyptians, you have the Roman Empire, you have the American Empire. You know, you
That
have
I ain't gonna lie, that would have been my first guess.
right, but everybody the blueprint. All everybody, dealing with the blueprint. They say America is the new Rome. You know what I mean?
But see, in my opinion, it's built. It's built upon. Like, I can't take away from him, but at the same time, like, if he say the best, like, yeah, it's us.
And that's what we get into. Are we still that power that we once was? You know what I mean? That's what the conversation is all about. It all falls down because in Egypt, in Rome, and every other great empire, not even talking about the Asian empires that have risen up throughout history. The what's my boy name?
You talk about the Mongols?
The Mongols, but what's his name? Who everybody is has his
Yeah.
DNA.
Oh yeah, you talk about it
Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan. I
Yeah,
don't know why I was
Genghis.
gonna say Attila the Hun, but
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, he was powerful too. You have all these different world powers that have risen up, but yet they're still around, but they're no longer world powers.
yeah.
And something happened in each and every one of these empires that we can see the signs of it, or we can see them happening even now in the society of the American empire. The same things are happening. They say that in order to know where you're going, you got to know where you come from, or what I mean, history repeats itself. Or we can say it like Solomon said, "There's nothing new under the sun."
Yeah.
So, what do you see? Do you see it all? Not to ask the grand question right now, but what do you see in our society that would cause you to have um, concern?
Truthfully, I see a lot of civil unrest. Like, I see a lot of people groups inflating or overinflating or hyperinflating their individual experiences. And when that happens, you get like civil unrest. Like, I think that that typically happens with cultures where, it's a melting pot, or, everybody's mixing. It's a lot of matriculation from place to place, and I feel like that is going to be like a huge, like, yeah, like a huge red flag. You feel me? Because what you would have is a group of people who can't see the forest through the trees, who can't identify and amalgamate with each other, on a deeper level. Like, I think that that's going to be what, like, a huge proponent in what, like, dooms us in America, being honest with
So the civil, I don't, I understand what you're saying, but I don't see a civil war being the thing that brings us down as a society and as an empire. Because if you ever notice, when things get rough, when things get challenging to the American people,
you.
we have a knack of coming together and saying, "Hey, we're all in this thing together." You know what I mean? When calamity strikes, not to say that there won't civil unrest can happen, but throughout the history of America, that we all band together and we come together to um, make things happen for each other. You know what I mean? Take 9/11. When that happened, what I mean, there was no more black and white. They was looking at the Middle Eastern looking person took the place of the black man, the black people, and we was all in this thing together. But I understand that there's great concern for the civil unrest and the differences being highlighted, and I don't even think that's the people per se that's doing it. I think it's a small group of people that are doing that but it is over publicized and over shared through the mediums of our society, through the media and social uh, platforms and things of that such. But just think about in your everyday life, the people that you come across, the people that you deal with, that you've never even met before. That is not even a conversation.
Well, and I agree with you. That I guess you specifically mentioned Civil War. Like I think that the overinflation of people groups, like like even what am I looking for? Not just like race or color or ethnicity. We're talking about like old, young, women, feminists, LGBTQ. Like there's so many identities that run around in this one country, and it's like, hey, if you don't accept all of me, like you're not gonna get like a little bit of me. So it's like it's too many like I give you an example. There's too many flags being flown here.
Right.
Like you got the American flag, you got the RGB whatever, the RGB flag, you got the Confederate flag, you got the LGBTQ flag, you got like all types of you feel me? Like all these different what these are people who are overinflating their personal experience and trying to what is it it's like they're trying to I don't want to say overthrow. They're trying to like co-op with the majority, and I think that subtly, you could see that like start to undo us or unwind us.
Right. And you know what? When you say that, in no other country will you go and see a different flag on that soil being flown. You won't, and I know you meant,
Right.
you wasn't not every literal flag that you meant was every flag was meant literally as you were saying as you were speaking. But at the same time,
Yeah.
there are literally different flags of different nations of different times being flown in this land. You know what I mean? You could see a Confederate flag easily in the South, as we live in the South. We've grown up, we've seen them. You know what I mean? You're a truck driver, you see them. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
You see a different nation's flag being flown in this nation when it's
Yeah, you can see the Ukrainian flag.
yeah, yeah. Some people that have never never flown or had a patriotic flag or a moment in their life are representing different countries in the country that their family isn't even from. I can understand someone from
Right.
Jamaica or Bahamas or somewhere, having their native flag with them or in their car or but you don't see the identity and I'm gonna tell you, listen, this look at this minority, you know, quote, minorities
Yeah.
are the only ones that are, besides and you can call them minorities too, the people that are flying the Confederate flag, we can consider them minorities. But you don't see any white people flying their, a Belgium flag or European flag or, what I mean,
Yeah.
Italian flag.
Icelandic.
Yeah, you don't see that. You see the Puerto Rican, the Haitian, the Dominican, the Jamaican, the Bahamian. You see all the minorities or the immigrant groups flying their flags. You don't see the quote unquote the white man flying his flag, his native land. You don't even see the Italians. You don't see it. You just don't. I mean, maybe it's done and we just aren't privy to it. But in my 36 years of living in this nation, I have not seen it in the majority. The only thing I've seen was that Confederate flag.
I mean, it's kind of you don't need you don't need to fly the flag, when when you're not the minority.
Right. But they are the minority, which is crazy.
But at the same but at the same time though, this country welcomes diversity.
Right.
And I'm not saying that isn't a good thing. Like, sure, it's good to be diverse, but you can't like have people who overinflate their experience and say that, well, this is what's best for America.
Right.
It's like, nah, because eventually that could lead to small groups popping up that could prove to be radical. And some groups can be like, bro, like the Branch Davidians had an all-out for a war over there in Waco, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, the Branch Davidians fighting. I'm talking about they had to call in SWAT for them, man. They shooting tear gas, man. You gotta watch that documentary. It was like a tiny war. But it's like, you could have groups that rise up like that. The order of the 9 angles. That they wanted to kill Christians. You could have those types of groups, and what those come from is, people overinflating their personal experience. And, oh, well, I'm American, I have my rights. It's like, bro. They could be the ones that call, like, that could I won't say cause, but subtly, you could see that, like, that type of behavior pointing to a fall, bro.
Right. Well, one that I see, maybe I see it because of the industry that I work in, but the food resources,
Yes.
is something that I'm seeing as, it's crazy because as I go to work and I work, I see this massive building full of food. Any type of food that you can possibly think of or want is in this warehouse, right? And I'm seeing it, and I'm seeing hundreds of thousands of cases of food and food products leave this warehouse on a weekly basis. It could be 90,000 one day, 75,000, 80,000 for 6 days. You know what I mean? Let's just say 90,000. That's, That's over a little bit over, what's that? 9 times 6, 54, 540,000. Over half a million cases of food and food products a week
Yeah.
leaving this one facility. From this one company. But yet, at the same time, how many stories have we heard, not just in America, but worldwide, of food factories, burning to the
Burn down.
ground? Yeah. How many times have we heard that the government is paying farmers to throw away food?
Yeah, that happened during COVID. They were actually, but you the way that you're explaining is like completely right. But they were actually paying the farmers as if during that time they were paying them as if so you can imagine if businesses shut down, farmers had X amount of crops to give, and they kept it going, Let's say if they had 93,000 pounds, right? But with these places closed down, that 93 could turn into 45.
Right.
So they were like, hey, what are we going to do with this extra food? So the government was like, well, okay, we're going to go ahead and pay you as if you were giving out that 93. So, you could pretty much burn the rest. Like that's kind of what was happening. And it's like, that to me, that's still pretty crazy though.
Yeah, it's crazy because you have a sector of people, in this nation who are
Yeah.
hungry and starving,
Right. Right. Right.
and there are
Right.
sectors that are
Right.
living in third world conditions. You know,
Right.
and
That's right.
we deal with first class problems. You know what I mean? And something
Right.
something I get the most joy out of, and this may be weird, but with my children, it's not with them playing. It's not with them doing certain things. It's when I get to sit down and watch them eat, and I get to sit down and watch my children eat. I get so much joy, bro, because they're just sitting there, just snacking and just having a good time, and not worrying about where the food is coming from. They have no care. Like they're just eating and happy. And I get so much joy, and I thank God that I'm able to just feed my children. They ain't eating syrup sandwiches. They ain't eating, you know, you know what I mean,
What you know
drinking
about the
sugar
syrup
water.
sandwiches, boy?
The syrup, man. Look here, I'm finna show you something. I'm finna tell you something that I don't know if you maybe ever heard this or ever done this, but bruh, you get your napkin and you put a bunch of ketchup and mustard and condiments in it, and you roll up in a little ball, and you put it in your mouth, and then like you let it pop, right, and then it just oozes out, and then you slowly suck all the condiment out of that napkin, bro.
Bruh,
That
I see why I see why you was about to fade what is it, Dennis for
oh,
your
bro,
honey
but
bun,
honey,
bro. Yeah. Oh, that
But
boy
yo,
about to
though, it's
talk.
like sugar water, bro.
Yeah,
Grilled
yeah.
cheese
Ice
sandwich.
cold sugar water, boy.
Yeah, grilled cheese sandwich was like creme de la creme. You know what I'm saying? But just come from those times and those days to my children being able to just eat and not have my wife for a while, man. When we got to get back to it, is they would eat fruit like almost every day, like fresh fruit. Chopped up strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, pineapples. Fresh. Fruit,
Yeah.
not out the can. Like every day, we'll eat this. You know what I mean?
Ain't no wrong with that canned fruit.
Man, it's high fructose corn syrup in that canned fruit too.
Not in all of it. No, no, I used to not in all of it.
Not at all of it, but a lot of it that you think you getting some nice fresh fruit or whatever, man. That stuff is
Nah, but they do line that can with BPAs though. Or specifically BPAs and you already know about that.
right, right,
I got
right.
an issue with that.
Hey, man, there's a lot of stuff we should have an issue with, and it goes back to the food thing. When there's a food short, I told this young cat I work with, I don't think he's 30 yet. I said, bro, go get you a deep freezer. And he's like, man, look, you see what we work at, man? If I ever need some food, I just come here and get it. I say, yeah, you could do that. But I say, dog, just get you a deep freezer, man. And, stock up something, man, because you never know what can happen. And I'm seeing on one end this massive operation to provide all types of schools, grocery stores, restaurants with food. But on the other end, when a hurricane happens,
Mm-hmm.
they say it's about 3 days worth of groceries on the shelves of a grocery store at any given time. It's about 3 days worth. But and this goes back to your first point of people being separate. When that hurricane come or natural disaster come, bro, that stuff gets ate up like that, like in a matter of hours, to where you can't find
Yeah,
bread, you can't find water, you can't find. They take the nasty stuff off the shelf. They take stuff that they don't even really eat.
yeah,
People begin to
yeah,
hoard.
yeah.
You know, so food is
But see,
go ahead.
but see, we should also consider like you were saying with the places that were being destroyed and or the food processing places that were being destroyed. We should also consider like having some form of survival skills, you know. And it's funny that we talking about this because my wife just said, "Hey, babe, I'm buying us some rations." And a lot of people look at you like, "Man, what y'all buying that for?" It's like, bro, like I remember, man, I vividly remember, man, when the hurricane hit. I remember eating some pound cake from out of one of them rations, boy.
Yeah.
Man, that thing was limit. You know, and I tell people don't knock them rations, bro. But
Yeah.
yeah, like just us being prepared, you know, for what may come because everybody's gonna have the same idea at the same time, and it's gonna be chaos. And bro, it's like you won't see, you won't have a smidget of humanity left when you see people in that desperate state.
Right.
Like you all everything else did, man. I firmly believe that the Bible, the Constitution, the Quran, all that go out the window when folk want to live.
Yeah.
Some people want to croak. I'm telling you,
Some
when folk want to live,
people about to quote.
they about to croak. I'm telling you.
Hey man, let's go back. What's the solution that you have for the first point? For the first point of hyperinflated feelings or personal experiences.
Well, I think, and you know, people probably gonna crucify me for this, but if you want the better good for your quote unquote community or your country, you know, you have to align with them. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to agree with the views. You still keep your individualism. You feel me?
Right.
But if you want, it's like, who can be the arbiter of saying, okay, well, we're going the women have been going through hell, so we're going to inflate them a little bit. But wait a minute, now the LGBTQ are going through hell, so let's inflate them a little bit. But wait a minute, now the Asians, now like nobody could be the like the true arbiter to choose. Like, okay, it's time for us to give these people some love and these other people. No, like how about we just say, hey, let's do what's best for Americans because all of y'all are American.
Right. You gotta be like
You
John F. Kennedy. Don't ask what your country can do for you.
know,
Ask what you can do for your country. How was that? That was pretty good.
them
JFK.
days over, man.
That was pretty good JFK, right? but
Them days over.
oh yeah. For the most part. For the most part. You know, a solution I have for the food thing is first and foremost, learn how to fast. Learn how to deny yourself uh, a pleasure or a necessity or
This
whatever you
man,
want to call it. Learn how to fast because fasting will keep you, even if you do have the rations, even if you do have the deep freezers full of food, and if you have all the, listen, if there's no supply coming through, you're going to have to learn how to withhold. You might have to learn how to eat one time a day, which is that's about all I eat right now anyway. It's about one time a day. You know, I ain't got time to eat, bro. But
but you got people who medically can't fast.
medically, but I think the body can, like, okay, like when my wife was pregnant, she wouldn't fast because she has to, supply for the children, for the child. And even when she breastfed, she wouldn't fast because she had supply for the child. But I believe though, if you fast, you might not have some of the medical issues.
But so it's certain people who have diabetes, and it's inherited, not type 2, type 1.
Right. Now this ain't an end all be all, but if you can learn how to fast,
That dude said you need to fast, bro. We gonna get straight to the cake, straight to the chase.
straight to it. First and foremost, first and
Nah,
foremost, you need to
that's
regulate your
facts.
body. You need to regulate
Nah,
your
that's
body
facts. That's
because
facts.
if you snacking all the time, look, we're gonna have to put you out this house because you finna eat us out of our portion, man. You got to go. You know what I
Hey,
mean?
the rations. That dude said the rations call for everybody to eat one time a day for the next 2 years. Now, if you eat 2 times a day for the next year, that's on you. That's your food.
Yeah, you.
But you can take us all out.
Yeah. Have you seen the movie or that show 100?
No, I haven't, but I heard about it. Ebony watched
I
every
started
season.
watching it. I got to get back into it. But it's a pretty good show. But I also learn how to be self sustainable. Learn how to farm. Learn how to uh, 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 grow something. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna have a whole greens and beans, greens, lettuce, tomato. You ain't gotta have all that. Potatoes. Just learn how to make
It's a straight cone.
one of those things that I don't know if you remember one of those. It's called, I think it was topsy turvy, to where you can grow vegetables in your house.
Oh yeah, like upside down.
Yeah, so even if you ain't got the land, or even if you can't protect the land, you know what I mean. At least you could grow something in your house to where you can, start to making yourself self-sustainable to where you don't have to go out and get everything from the grocery store. You don't have to go out and get everything from outside of your household. You know what I mean? You could make, a salad or, whatever. Learn how to
Yeah.
fish, learn how to hunt, learn how to do certain things to where you're not totally dependent on the system, because if the system crashes. Also, learn how to not have to be on government assistance. We talked about this
I'm
as
a
well.
man. If the system crash, money, like literally at that instance, money is gonna be gone. So
All right,
man,
let's
government.
yeah, let's go. Let's go to that takes us to the money part of it. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, I mean because if the system were to crash, um, money would instantly like you can't do anything with it. It wouldn't be. It'll literally go back to the guy with the most resources. And this is part of theory that I have concerning breakaway civilizations and the government.
Uh-huh.
Like once you've had the money for so long, you can get to the point to where you've amassed most of the resources.
Right.
So what would I do next? After I got y'all to trust on this money system, all I have to do is crash the economy because now I have the resources.
Right.
You get, so now it's like I don't need the money. And truthfully, you don't need the money. You never needed the money. What you needed was the resources.
Yeah.
So I think that, in my opinion, I think that you should be going straight for the resources right now.
Yeah.
Like you said, farming, learning how to survive, fasting, but learning how to make a fire, learning how far, to actually dig plumbing, and I'm using a proper term, plumbing, so that it's not as close to where you might have to abide, you know, different plants that you could use to for like ailments, stomach,
Right.
poppy seed, all type of
Aloe.
stuff. Like, yeah, like I mean, these are the things that they're like you really could need, one day. And I mean, and if not, thank God.
Right. And that's the thing that needs to be driven home. People, we're taught and learned to chase the money, to get the money, but the money
Hmm.
is a tool. It's a
Yep.
tool to get the things that you want. Remove
Right.
money out of the system can still flourish, but you have to have a system of importance, things of importance. Bartering. You know what I mean? but the money is you can't eat it. You know what I mean? You can't build with it. You can't. It has no real purpose but to obtain other things. You know what I mean? It's an exchange because as we go back, we know their gold and people didn't want to have the gold. The gold was too heavy. You didn't want to transport it here and there, so they made a paper system and bonds and so on and so forth. If you ever want to understand how we got our money, just do a brief study. But I want to point to this article from thehill.com. It's a changing America, and the headline is MIT predicted society would collapse by 2040. New data tells how we're doing, and some of the highlights are, in 1970, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology predicted the fall of society using the LTG model. The fall of society will take place around 2040. The 2100s will be comparable to the 1900s in terms of world's population, industrial output, food, and resources. It's a pretty quick article, and you know, and it's on pace. And some of the milestones that they said we'll be reaching are being reached. You know what I mean? So they have been keeping an eye on this thing. And
Man, you gotta hit us with some of the milestones, bro.
I don't know if it goes into it. Um, Let me see.
Yeah,
Uh,
these people telling me to prepare, man, for the end. What's going on?
the Earth, according to LTG, has been terraformed beyond repair by greenhouse gases from fossil fuels, making the next generation to endure the heavy legacy of scarcity of mineral resources and a planet characterized by radioactive and heavy metal pollution. Yeah. I guess this is just the article talking about the the um, the MIT prediction.
Study
Yeah,
or
study.
prediction? Okay.
Yeah, so I guess you have to go look at MIT and what they actually studied to get the milestones.
Pages and pages of.
Yeah, but it's already been predicted, man. And what we're 18 years away. You know, by the
Yeah.
time my baby, my newborn, by the time she reach what we consider adulthood, this is when the time that society will be collapsing. And with the money thing, um, have you heard about the the money laundering? Let's just the trying to word my words properly. Um, the
But anyway,
the
digital dollar.
yeah, all that's going on. Not even the digital dollar, but the I'm looking for a word. Allegedly, the alleged money laundering that is going on between Ukraine, the Biden administration, and digital currency. Have you
No.
heard about this? You haven't heard about this? I'm surprised you haven't heard about this with you being so in tune with the digital marketplace. But and I might butcher this a little bit, but um,
Wait,
this is
hold on. I
go
did
ahead.
hear. Hold on, wait. I did hear something, but I'm not sure if it's tied into Biden. But Ukraine, um, who did it have something to do with? Did it have something to do with FTX?
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, you want to know who I heard it?
What's up?
You want to know what made me go research it?
What's that?
So people about to croak.
Oh yeah.
I heard that thing on some people about the croak news.
So even Kevin O'Leary has gotten caught up in the loss of a lot of funds from because he is investing. So pretty much is this, and I may mess this up a little bit, but you can do your own research. Um, FTX, which is a digital broker, right?
Yeah.
a broker between the digital world.
Them
Um,
boys are bankrupt.
they went bankrupt because the CEO pretty much took a lot of money, invested it
Uh-huh.
into his ex girlfriend's company, right? And FTX has given about, I mean, estimated around 40 million to the Biden administration, right? And the Biden administration has been giving trillions of dollars to the Ukraine government. And the Ukrainian government has a deal in partnership with FTX. So it's a big circle of exchanging funds.
It's like they operate on their own.
Yeah, it's money laundering,
They're their
allegedly.
own. They're their own fiat money. Money.
So Biden sends all this money to Ukraine. Ukraine is in partnership with FTX. FTX has given. He was trying to be a mega donor on the political arena. And so he's given about 40 million to the Biden administration through for advertisement and various other things. So it's, I send you all this money, you keep most of it and filter the rest of it through the system, and then they get a bunch of it, keep it, and filter it back. So it's like a party is a system of exchanging money, which is could be called money laundering. And when this is happening at the highest level, you better believe that there has to be a fall to this system. There has to be a dismantlement of the system that is corrupt, that is overtly corrupt.
I'm just gonna say this: Democrats. Nah, I'm messing. Boy, I
Vote
better
or
start
die.
trusting them.
Vote or die.
Can't trust Hillary. Can't trust Obama. Can't trust Biden. I don't know what's going on with him, man.
Man, I don't trust nobody, man. What did he say? I don't know who said it. Trust nobody. I thought that was Boozy. I don't trust nobody. And that was Boozy.
Boosty.
And I don't care who. I'm glad. But let's stay on point though, man. The money system is when you
Now
got
that's gonna fall for sure. For like it ain't even. I don't even think that it's a oh if. I think that it's a win. It's
win.
more of a win.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that the last or the last hurrah, the final hurrah would actually be the centralization of all forms of fiat money.
Right. Right.
But you're gonna have countries that just won't capitulate. Like, hey, look, we're not gonna do it this way. And I think that those countries are gonna get pressed.
Of
Those
course.
countries gonna get lean. They're gonna get leaned on.
Of course. Of course. It
Some
has to
some
be
people,
conforming. It has to be conforming to the system. It has to be. If you don't
right,
conform to this, it's
right,
either conform or die.
right. They're gonna get leaned on.
Right.
Yeah,
And so, as we said before, the solution to that is we have to come together, bro. And I'm gonna say this publicly, man. God put it on my heart, bro, to start a brotherhood between like-minded men. I want to get you and a host of other gentlemen together to where we can meet at least once a month. At least, and you've already did it. You already started. You already have the blueprint for it. And maybe this isn't even for me. Maybe it's just God gave me this because it just came back to my mind that you already started that.
yeah.
This is something that you've started, and maybe God gave it to me to remind you, bro, that brotherhood that you have. There is nothing that we uh, can't have if we have 15, 20 men who have families who are making money, and say we put in like $50, right, a month, and every 2 months, every 3 months, we give all that money to one person, and they can do what they need to do with that money. Say it's $2,000-$3,000 at one time. By the time you reach $50, by the time you give that $3,000, you'd have been there. It would have been there, came back round to you so many times before you're never going, coming out of your pocket without receiving more than what you come out. You know what I'm saying?
I heard of that. My mom is from the Bahamas, and she said they had a something like that. But they called it something. They called it had a different name to it.
Right.
Also, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I was in Miami, bro, and it was something called a global gifting connection. And it's crazy because I still, bro, I want to say I still had like an email from them. But bro, I'm talking about 2000 and what am I talking, bro? I'm talking like 2010, like 2010, bro.
Yeah.
And but they had the same type of idea. It was called the global gifting connection. And basically they had like it was working like that, but like globally. So like they had it to where like the person would stay um they would stay at the top until like they reached a certain amount, and then they would drop back to the bottom, and
Right.
then the next person, and then the next person, and then but you could imagine like it was kind of like hard to keep people doing that, because
Right.
like they wouldn't see the fruits as quick as they want to, so they would leave, and it was hard to get that person been unstayed up top there for a year because they never reached their amount.
Right.
But my question, that's, I don't know, that's my thing. Like I think that the biggest thing that you said was like-minded brothers, because if let's say if a dude leaves, and it's 14 people, and it's like, well, when I was giving it was X amount of dollars. Now that this person left, it's $50 less.
Right.
You
But
know,
that, but you know what I'm saying. Even if that happens, that is such a minuscule amount, and it's not just money based. My camera about to croak on me. It's not just
Oh.
money based. It's also whatever moral support or just guidance or somebody to listen to, because as men we don't have that
yeah,
that 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 ear to hear us out. You know what I mean? It's so much beyond money, but it's like if we got 10 to 15 dudes that meet and we making sure we straight, and that nobody, like, anytime somebody hit a hard spot, we all come through for them. Because if you come and ask me for $500, I may be able to give it to you, but it may strain me a little bit to give it to you. But if we
yeah,
got
of
to
course,
ask 10 people for $500, you know what I'm saying? That's just
right,
$50,
right,
you know what I mean, or whatever. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? So that ain't nothing to get 10 people to give you $50. And that's the same thing. That's how when you it's like crowdsourcing, but in a small crowdfunding, but it's like, the small group. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So if somebody, hey man, my hot water heater went out, I need this. We all can come in and be like, okay, there you go, you got it. And
yeah,
you won't have people in there that's just, you know, and we can do, we can check in with them and make sure that, okay, you have somebody come in and assess the damage. And okay, all right, you don't need a new hot water heater. All you need is this new filter, new pump. All right, let's get you this new pump. We all come in and hold each other accountable for the things that we say we need, and that you know
yeah,
what I'm saying? That is something that will help us with that money system. It's like you said, it's gonna fall, but we have to be together, because as the Bible says that no man will be able to, buy or sell without that mark. But we know that there's still
yeah,
going to be some provision going on.
yeah,
Provision
of
will
course,
still go on. God will not leave us
of
in a
course.
situation where we can't provide and survive. So you know, um, man, my camera about to die. You know what we can do, man? We can pick this conversation up, and continue on to education, military, and things of that sort, man. What you say about that?
That's dope. That's cool.
All right. So let me drop that information for him real quick, man.
Yes, you can find me at Daryl Sales, just like it's spelled on my name. Facebook, on on I don't know. I always be saying Twitter. I'm eventually go to Twitter though. I keep talking about it. On Instagram, Daryl DJ Sales, DARYLLE. SALES. Facebook, Instagram, Clubhouse, man. I do be in Clubhouse. I listen to a lot of debate rooms, and I'm a student of the Word of God. And yeah, that's kind of like what I do for recreation.
Yes, sir, man. Degrees of separation on everything. DEGREEZ. Degrees separation on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, degreeseparation.com, degrees of separation at gmail.com. Anything that says degrees of separation, but you got to have that Z, degrees with the Z, DEGREEZ. You can find us everywhere, man. We may be 1 or 2 degrees separated from each other, but when it comes to God, there should be 0 degrees of separation. And we is out.
Degrees of separation, connecting you to the source.